Please rise as the dignitaries arrive. Good afternoon to all of you. Please be seated. A very warm welcome to each one of you. It's such a pleasure to have you all here today for a truly special occasion, the release of a book that's very close to our hearts, written by none other than our talented colleague, Mrs. Vivita Pinto. I think I have a good enough reason to be today's MC because Vivita was my roommate while at the Hilton Hotel, Tokyo. We spent together an entire week traveling and sharing beautiful moments of discovery and delight. To begin the day's proceedings and walk us through the agenda, may I invite our respected principal, Dr. John Thomas, to deliver the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm asked to give the opening remark, but I didn't hear her welcoming the gathering. So in one word, I welcome all of you to this pleasant, special gathering. Respected Nayan sir, Lali madam, Julie teacher, Vivita teacher, and my dear Little Rock family members. This is a very special occasion. As you know, we are here to release a travelogue written by our teacher Vivita, following her recent visit to Japan, along with a group of teachers headed by Nayan sir. Every time when we listen to Nayan sir, he emphasizes the need for inculcating the habit of reading. And sir always quotes Sir Francis Bacon that reading maketh a full man. I'll continue with the quote. The full sentence is, reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. That applies to women too. Writing sharpens precision and clarity of thought, making exact and focused. And that is why we say, or he says, writing makes an exact man. Today, Mrs. Vivita Pinto has been promoted to that status that she has become an exact woman. Not only that, I think, if I am not wrong, she should be the third author from Little Rock family after Nayan sir. Our sister, our counselor sister Judith also has authored a book. This is quite commendable, a great achievement, and we congratulate you, Vivita teacher. Travel, as you know, is one of the most powerful forms of education. It opens mind, challenges assumptions, and offers fresh perspectives. Vivita teacher not only embraced this opportunity, but also took it one step further by documenting her experiences, thoughts, and reflections in a beautifully written travelogue. Through her words, she invites us to join her journey with her to see, feel, and understand a new culture, a different system, and a world beyond our own. Her work is a wonderful reminder that every travel experience can be a story that can educate, inspire, and even transform. I appreciate her in her initiative and for her willingness to share it with us. I also want to take this moment to encourage all to write. Nanat sir always tells us to read, but he has never told us to write. Otherwise, we could have had several such occasions. Yeah, we should learn to write. Whether it's a trip across the world or a visit to a nearby village, every place teaches us something. When you write, you reflect. When you reflect, you grow. When you share, others also grow. So let's learn to grow together. Decide it today. And I want, as you get a copy of the book today, I want you to find time to read it and appreciate. And I wish that we had several such occasions in the future. I will tell you a very short story. A big story I will brief you very briefly. I don't know how many of you have heard of Baby Halder. She is a writer. Has anyone heard of Baby Halder? Baby Halder was born in 1973 in Kashmir, raised in Murshidabad, West Bengal. She had a very traumatic childhood experiences. Her mother abandoned her when she was 4, abused by her mother and stepmother. She was married at the age of 12. She became a mother at the age of 30. She was married to somebody 13 years elder to her. And continuous, relentless abuses from within the household. Once she ran away with her 3 daughters to Delhi to do some domestic work and survive. She went to the house of Professor Prabodh Kumar, a retired archaeology professor, of course the grandson of Premchand. He noticed, they stayed there and he was a maid there. He noticed while she was wiping or dusting the bookshelves, she spent a longer time there, turning the pages and learning to read. He noticed it and slowly he encouraged her to read and later to write. She asked, what should I work? How can I write? I am almost an illiterate. He said, you write your experiences. She began to write. And with the help of his friends, it was translated, edited, and printed. The first book was Alo Andhari in Bengali, which would mean a life less ordinary, which became a bestseller. It was translated to more than 20 languages in India and abroad. She has also authored 2 more books. And even now she wishes to be known as not as a writer, as a maid. She continues. I told you this story to tell you that every one of us can write if we really wish. And we may have to wait for that exact time, that so-called germinal impulse. Until then, let's wait. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your timely introduction. Today we celebrate not just the release of a book, but the experience and wisdom captured in its pages. And now, for the most awaited moment, the review and official release of the book, we are blessed to have with us Mrs. Julie Esther Lewis, our former Vice Principal, a name that resonates with grace, wisdom, and deep commitment to our school. May I now invite Julie teacher to share her thoughts on the book and officially release it. Ma'am, we are honored to have you and the stage is yours.
Nice to see all of you all once again. A very good afternoon to all of you. So it's my honor to stand here today to review and release the travelogue, an exciting journey to the land of the rising sun, authored by our teacher, Mrs. Vivita Pinto. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page, said Saint Augustine. Vivita teacher now has not just traveled, but has written a whole book, a rare feat. For the past several years, our director has been mentioning during our meetings that everyone must possess a passport, as the management is passionate to continue its professional development programs through sponsoring teachers on international educational visits. One of the core values of our institution is that it is always committed to keeping its word. And so it was that many of us had the wonderful opportunity of traveling abroad. Vivita teacher, you all know, recently had been to Tokyo in the 6-member group. It's truly impressive as to how she has woven a narrative that captures each and every event, even some ordeals that ultimately led her to Japan, the land of the rising sun. How did the idea of preparing this book come about? Well, it would be best if I leave it to Vivita teacher or director sir to answer this question. Coming to the book, each of her experiences is narrated with vivid details in an amusing manner. You can experience the sights, sounds, and flavors of all the places they visited through her narratives. She also has her sense of humor sprinkled in different parts of the book. While reading this book, you can easily imagine her demeanor and fun-loving nature. In life, there are many occasions when we see divine intervention, especially when facing difficult situations. Throughout her writing, one can notice how grateful she has been to the Almighty for all that has happened in her favor. That is, how God was preparing the way in His time. As one moves from one chapter to the other, you will feel the simplicity and humility of Vivita teacher. She has completed her story with deep respect and gratitude to Nainan sir and Lali ma'am for not just organizing the trip, but to have regarded and treated her as one of their own children. She writes with awe about ma'am's calmness and also the childlike playful nature of both sir and ma'am, who are so free and relaxed on such trips that it makes us, their fellow travelers, so comfortable and relaxed. With so many of us have traveled like Vivita and had our own different experiences. All of us write reports for our school yearbook or for the campus footprints. But here is Vivita with a whole book. How did she do it? Did anyone help her with it? What has she written about the trip that became a book? Which photographs are in it? I'm sure these are some questions running in your mind. Find answers to all of them once you get your copy. It's definitely an interesting read. I congratulate Vivita for this amazing work. Vivita, I am really impressed by your hard work and determination. Through your willpower, you were able to accomplish this great feat. It was a pleasure for me to collaborate with you and our director, sir, in helping with the editing. I appreciate Vivita's openness to feedback and the willingness to revise and refine the work. Our director Nainan sir has encouraged Vivita to complete something that she had begun in a small way. This was the sole fire behind her work. In addition, Lali ma'am has also been her constant source of support. When there is a sincere desire to do something, we have to give it our all, our best, and the result that follows will also be the best. Most of you must have read or at least come across the series of books named Chicken Soup for the Soul. Have you? And as I was reading one of them, which is meant specially for Indian teachers, it got me thinking about something that all of you can do. Just as John sir just mentioned that every one of you can write, I too got the same idea that all of you can write. Maybe not a whole book, but once each of you can contribute your small stories or narrations of your teaching career in Little Rock, it could become a big book. It could be your narratives of learnings from students, some revelation, a heartwarming story, your special experiences in school, a special method or strategy that clicked, how you saw a student improve, how as a team you organized something, what students learned from that, or just some anecdotes related to students. I believe that if this plan materializes, I'm sure we would be bringing out a great motivational book for the next generation of teachers. Anyone reading it would find it uplifting and truly inspirational. It can help us preserve our ethos, our school culture, and take Little Rock to the next level. Because as you know, school is not just buildings and the other infrastructure. It's the hearts that touch lives that really counts in making it clearly a school with a difference. So dear teachers, please give it a try. Just one article by every teacher and we can make a great book. Can't we? Yes, thank you. And I would be glad to be its editor. Right. Once again, I congratulate Vivita on this splendid accomplishment. I thank our director, Professor Matthew C. Nainan, for inviting me to be here today. I also thank Lali ma'am and John sir for planning and making arrangements for this unique event. Thanks to each of you for listening with interest. Thank you and have a great weekend.
Thank you, ma'am, for the review and the graceful unveiling. Your thoughtful insights and presence have made this occasion special. As a token of our appreciation, may I request Lali Madam to hand over a memento to Mrs. Julie Esther Lewis. Thank you, madams. Every book is born out of a dream, a story, an experience, a spark. It is now our privilege to hear from the one who nurtured that spark and turned it into a beautiful book, which we have just seen. May I now invite the author of the book, Mrs. Vivita Pinto, to share her reflections and speak to us about her journey.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know many of you are surprised to see me standing here with a book in hand, because you all know me as the talkative and fun-loving person, right? Honestly, even I was surprised for many days. It took me some time to process this new phase in my life. I would like to share a small incident from the COVID time. Back then, there were no students in school, and only we teachers were around. We used to giggle, chat, and enjoy ourselves, sometimes a little too much, without even realizing it. And deep down, we all knew that one day Lali madam would definitely call us and give a warning. And yes, one day madam did call me, but not to scold about the noise. Instead, she said, "I have been observing you for many days. You have become so quiet, always standing at the back. What is the reason?" That day I realized, oh, it's not my noise that bothers people, but my silence does. Yes, sometimes I go completely silent, and that's when I end up doing things like writing. While writing this story, I never imagined a day like this would come. I just wrote it in a simple and honest way, straight from the heart. But when my story reached Sir, everything changed. He guided me step by step, just like a teacher guiding his own student. It was a raw story in the beginning, but Sir suggested adding chapters and helped shape it into something better. Even during his Melbourne trip, he took out time to clear my doubts and patiently guided me. Even the title of the story was given by Sir himself. One thing that really stood out during the editing process was how particular he was. Every time he would clearly mention the paragraph, the exact lines, page numbers, so I could improve it properly. He was always quick to respond and very detailed. We all know how dedicated Sir is, but the way he showed interest in my work like it was his own truly touched me. That's when I realized how humble he is. Madam's silent involvement in the story meant a lot. When we thought of adding an article on Japan by someone else at the end, she clearly suggested not to, saying it might take away the focus on my work. Her thoughtful gesture truly touched me. Thank you so much, dear Sir and Madam, for your constant support, guidance, and love. I will always remain grateful to you for making this beautiful moment possible. A special thanks to Julie teacher for her incredible editing work. We often heard Sir mentioning how she supports with editing, but I truly experienced it myself during this journey. I was amazed by the way she patiently read my story multiple times, carefully going through every detail and making thoughtful corrections with so much dedication and care. Her involvement added so much value to the final version of the book. Thank you so much, Julie teacher, for being such an important part of this book. I am grateful for your time, effort, and kind support. My heartfelt thanks to our principal, Dr. John Thomas, vice principals, head teachers, and the entire Little Rock family for making this day possible. Thank you, Suresh Abbar sir, for your help during the editing process. Thank you, Giridhar sir, for your logistic support. This book is about how a common person enjoys the blessing of life. So dear friends, please do read my book and share your thoughts and feedback. It truly means a lot to me. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Vivita teacher, for sharing your reflections on the book. Your words offered us a deeper insight into its essence and purpose, and your passion as an author truly shone through. Let me congratulate Vivita on this creditable achievement on behalf of all of you. Having honored this occasion with his presence, I now invite our esteemed director, Professor Matthew C. Nainan, to offer his words of felicitation.
Good afternoon to all of you. The emphasis today has been on reading and writing. As John Sir said, I used to always talk about reading, but perhaps not sufficient emphasis on writing. In fact, reading and writing should go hand in hand. They must go together. It's like food and water. Like food and water are essential for our material life, reading and writing are essential for our mind, particularly that of a teacher. Like a carpenter has his hammer and his chisel, and a blacksmith has his hammer and tongs, so should a teacher have both reading and writing. I must have quoted Francis Bacon umpteen times. Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. And Sir amended it and said, writing an exact woman. Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man. Conference means conversation. A ready man. If you are able to communicate well, you become a ready man. And writing, an exact man. If you have ever attempted writing something, you will know that when you start writing, you have to attain certain perfection. You have to correct yourself several times. As you know, I used to write articles for the newspaper. Every article is completed in one day, but it is rewritten, revised, re-edited many times over. So it's a very long process until it reaches a certain kind of perfection. Of course, there is nothing called perfection. So reading and writing should go hand in hand. And creative writing, we all can do it. We all can do it. As Julie teacher rightly mentioned, we can start writing something, writing a diary. Everybody can do. Nowadays, every one of you will get a diary given by someone or the other. Start writing your diary. And of course, when you start writing a diary, it gives you a wonderful advantage. Whenever you want to look back at a certain date to recall something, you can just go back to your diary. I used to feel sorry that I did not continue my diary writing. I used to do my diary writing in my early days, but then I decided not to continue with it, because if it falls into somebody else's hands, it would be a Mark Twain said, confession is good for the soul, but bad for reputation. Confession is good for the soul, but bad for reputation. These are the words of Mark Twain. And I used to read Mark Twain. I thought he knows better than me. I stopped writing. Now I feel, had I written diary continuously and methodically, I could have turned that into a story, into a novel. Because everyone's life is a novel, is worth not one novel, several novels perhaps. We all have insights, we all have ideas, we all have rare insights with which we can write something, which is what Vivita has done. This is what is called serendipity. Serendipity means an accidental discovery. What happened to us, we were supposed to give a report after our Tokyo trip. We were supposed to make a report at the teachers' meeting, every one of us. So the teachers who prepared those notes sent it to me. Some sent it as text itself, some by email, some by pen drive. Vivita's came by pen drive to me. But I didn't know what her file name was. Then I saw My Story. There was one file name by name My Story. I thought this must be the one. So I opened it. When I opened it, I found that she had written all about the preparation to this journey. Something like 3-4 chapters. At that time it was not exactly in chapters, but she has written the story, first part, and left it there. But then I discovered that her report for the next meeting was elsewhere, another file. Then I sent her a message saying that you have a nice way of writing. You have a good style of writing, I said, because when I go through any draft, I used to make a comment. I said this, but she didn't understand. She thought I was commenting on the report. She didn't know that I had read her story. After a month also nothing happened. Then I sent her a message asking her whether she has completed her story. That is when she realized that I was commenting on this story. Then she said that she is writing. I said, after you write, you send it to me, let me see. So she wrote the whole story and sent it to me. Then I suggested some changes, opening different chapters with headings, adding some photographs and all that, and she put together all of them. Then we sent it to Julie teacher for editing. So editing happened. I edited some, Julie teacher edited some, Vivita herself edited some, and finally it has come in the form of this book. That is the story of this book. It was a serendipity. It was an accidental find that has resulted in this particular book. But this is not the first time that she has been writing. She used to write. She used to write scripts for drama. She used to write many things, but it had never seen the light of day. But this time, for the first time, she got her writing published in this manner. So there is a lot of effort that she has put in, and once again, though she has been congratulated more than once now, on behalf of the Little Rock Indian School and all of you here, I wish to congratulate Vivita on this achievement. Julie teacher has given a brief review of the book. She has read this because you know that her proofreading is always thorough. She will not spare anybody. She will read line by line, and I used to say that she goes to every text or every script with a fine tooth comb, and she will discover something or the other in that. And I used to characterize her eyes as eagle eyes. She has eagle eyes. Only an eagle can spot things from a distance, which she is capable of. So she has also done a thorough job, and she came here, and she is the right person to have released the book, and so I must thank her also. Now coming back to the reading habit, I used to say that teachers must invest a certain amount of money for buying books. Once upon a time I said 500 rupees. Now I am revising it to 1000 rupees every month. That will be the greatest treasure that you can have when you retire. So you should have a well-stocked library in your house. Every house should have a well-stocked library. Many of you have growing up children, so for them also it would be a wonderful example. Have a good library at home. A well-stocked library is more precious than an overflowing wardrobe. You understand? You may have a wardrobe which is overflowing now, and you might be wondering whether to buy one more cupboard, one more wardrobe. Instead, see whether there is space in your bookshelves, and if there is space in your bookshelves, add more books. Reading is inculcated in children right from early days. When I was in Melbourne, I was fascinated by one thing that was happening. Shalini's son, who is just 4 years, he goes to the library certain times of the day, once or twice a week. He goes to the public library. One of his parents will take him there. There is what is called story time. At that story time, children of that age, 3, 4, 5-year-old children, they all come with their parents or guardians. They sit there. There is a children's corner there. They all sit there. 3 or 4 teachers are there, and they will sing rhymes and sing some action songs and initiate all the children also to sing along with them. Some of those nursery rhymes we are familiar with, or songs, action songs, very peppy numbers. They will teach them all of those things. And then the main teacher will tell a story. And all the children will attend to that story with great attention. And she will support it with some visual aid, and she will tell a whole story, which will last only 10 minutes. And all the children will be glued to her. They will all listen with great attention. And all those children also borrow books from the library. This library has also one very peculiar system, which was astonishing to me. They don't keep any record of the books taken by the children. Even if the books don't come back, they are not bothered. No questions asked. I asked the reason. They said, if you ask them questions, if you charge some fees for late return of books and all that, that will discourage them. So let books go. It is run by the city council. It is run by the council. The council is running the library. They don't care for the books taken. Children can take their books and return them. But they don't keep any record. This is very astonishing that this is the way they do things. There is a lot of trust. You can see this in many countries. One I saw is in Australia, where people do all the payment in all the supermarkets everywhere. There are no counters. There might be a few counters for some of them who cannot handle this, but most others, they do it themselves. And people trust each other. People can leave beside their laptop, their phone and everything anywhere. Even in Japan we have noticed that people do not lose anything. Everyone is trustworthy. So the point is about reading, and I was trying to say that we have this sort of a system there, where library, they have story time, and children go to the library and spend time reading. With the result, I have seen our grandson coming with 3 or 4 books every time, and he sees to it that every evening his father or mother would read that story to them. Sleeping time, he makes sure that he takes these books upstairs to the bedroom and gets the parents to read them. So you don't have to force such children to read. Reading has come naturally to them. Of course, now it is too late in the case of most of you, because your children are grown up. Those who are yet to get married, those who are young, may take a lesson or two from this context. It would be wonderful if children can be trained in reading. Now, about this book, you might be wondering how you will get a copy of this book. I thought an easy way of doing it is giving a book to every one of you. Not free. The cost price of the book is a little over 100 rupees. Our bill is a little over 100 rupees per book. So we thought we would give a copy to every one of you through the head teachers today itself, and we will deduct 100 rupees from your salary next month. I hope that is all right. Because otherwise you all will have to go to the office and pay that money and all that. All those hassles we can avoid. Now one question comes, there are 2 teachers, husband and wife, working here. I know it. But still you will get 2 copies. And you can give 1 copy to one of your closest friends or relatives. Let them also read it. So everybody will get a copy of the book, and we will deduct 100 rupees from your account. We would like to leave aside our class 4 staff, our attendants, in case they don't want to. In case they want to buy it, they can buy it. But otherwise, all the others, we will ask the teacher aides of KG whether they would like to be given this way. We will give it to them also. So everyone, by buying that book, not only gets to read that book, it would be an encouragement to the school, encouragement to the author here, and encouragement to the future authors who are sitting here. I know that some of you must have thought now, if I am sent abroad, you can be sure that I will turn out a book. Don't write too many books and get us into trouble. Anyway, if you can write a good book, it will be published. You can be sure of that. So I wish to thank all of you who have gathered here, and once again congratulate Vivita on this great achievement which she has turned out. I marveled at the ability with which, that ability to write so convincingly and so persuasively, and she has a very good style, and that has to be appreciated. Thank you very much, and now over to the MC.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful, inspirational remarks. Your words of encouragement and support lent great significance to the book release and were truly inspiring to all present. As we draw close to the end of the formal program, we are delighted to make a joyful announcement. Our director and deputy director have recently been blessed with their 8th grandchild. In celebration of this happy occasion, today's refreshments have been lovingly sponsored by them. We extend our warmest congratulations to them. That brings today's occasion to a sweet culmination. I thank everyone for your cooperation. Have a beautiful day ahead. Thank you.